Welcome back, everybody, to Squid Junction. We are going to be going into our losers finals run. My name is Bio. I'm joined here by Weef, and we are going to be commentating this match between Chumpy Lane versus, or better known as question mark.
Yeah, there was a bit of a debate here in the little caster's desk about how do we pronounce this, which I like. You can't really express the pure surprise that the emotes bring. So I don't know. I think question mark, exclamation point, and interrobang is actually what it's called as a actual term. I just remembered, interrobang uh is the actual term.
That could
So we're gonna be calling
definitely
them
work.
interrobang.
But no, but I personally do prefer my traditional shrug. So I don't know.
Oh,
I think
that's not a shrug.
uh,
That's not a,
that
you don't go question mark exclamation point to a shrug.
okay,
That's
okay.
a pure exclamation of surprise.
Yeah, yeah. So like an exclamatory shrug. Mm, louder.
Ugh.
More expressive. But regardless, we are now going to be going into our first game, Splat Zones on Mako Mart between these two teams. There are definitely some notable players on the side of such as Jade, a very prominent mid-level Stamper player, alongside some other notable players such as Jisha and Nick. So this is definitely going to be a heated fight between them and Chumpy Lane, which we saw last match to be a very strong team. But regardless, let's go into it. Chumpy Lane coming out with their traditional damper composition, while looks to come out with a squeezer coming up from Illumine. I would not expect anything else, and a stamper from Jade as expected, alongside a splash and a machine. Pretty standard filler picks.
I mean, you really don't see Squeezer that often, but I feel like you all like there's those people who like worshipped it in two, and so they still have the skills to make it work. And it really isn't all that bad. It's still, Zuka is definitely a more favorite special now. There's a lot of things that can make it work, and so it's like a niche pick, but it's still interesting to see, and I'm excited to see if we can make it work. However, Chumpy Lane is looking pretty forward right now. We saw how much they dominated in zones in that last set against Pickup, and this time is probably no different as they go forward. They already pushed to 50 points. And Terrorwing is pushing back in as they, bring Chumpy Lane to a 3 down. But that was a good first push if I've ever seen them.
But definitely, but I would like to point out that incredible triple from Hot Dog coming out three directs. And wow, they definitely turned the tides on that one. But regardless, is looking to defend here with that Booyah Bomb and that Crab Tank. Zuka coming up from the far left side from Chumpy Lane. Not quite able to find any picks though, and actually they are going to lose their splash and their machine. Not quite what you like to see. Jade going to be stuck here in the corner, quickly finished off. While it is only the squeezer left, they're going to get picked off as well. And now points are starting to fall quickly. It is becoming dangerously low, coming into knockout territory. Only 12 points left on the board. It is up to Chumpy Lane to start pushing in here quickly. 3, 2, 1. They have to neutralize the zone, and they do. They flip it, and they are now back in the game.
We have seen, however, how powerful Chumpy Lane's holds can be, and so I'm not surprised as once they get their foothold, they can probably stick this around. Already their penalty is almost up, and then after that, it's all downhill from there. Booyah Bomb does get canceled though, and they are 2 down, and Terrobang looking incredibly strong as they're going to start working through their 70-point penalty. But with a 3 down situation on any team, which leads into a delayed wipe, things are certainly looking pretty strong.
Definitely. Finally, Chumpy Lane looking to get some points on the board here. As they start nearing their knockout percentage again, penalty points quickly ticking down with struggling to push in. They're not really getting that many specials as they keep getting picked off one by one. They're gonna make a desperate last ditch attempt here with that Booyah Bomb, but Chumpy Lane comes out with a Booyah Bomb of their own. However, the Zuka does get some crucial picks. It's only the machine left on the side of Chumpy Lane, and Squeezers manages to finally get the cap on the zone.
something about Squeezer, it has that clutch power sometimes. And even though that hold is going to be relatively short-lived, especially as they go 2 down, it was good enough to buy them a little bit more time to come back in, get themselves some specials, get some picks, and maybe make a comeback and get a hold going of their own. Nick getting going in here, diving in, popping a crab, but unfortunately it's going to get shredded. That was not very well positioned at all. Jade is going to go and follow them and unfortunately get picked off themselves. So 2 for 2, but it's still not looking super great for Chumpy or Interrobang here. Chumpy Lane is 2 down. This is definitely their chance here, especially as they just go 3 down. It's only Kai over here. They can be coming out on the left, taking a pick and going down. It's actually looking pretty good here.
Definitely. And as you say, Interrobang is starting to get a good push going here. They have no penalty. All they have to do is out Chumpy Lane, and which they do. They find a crucial pick on the splash. They are going to have they're not going to have that crucial entry special, the crab tank, to finally find their way in. Jade coming out with the Zipcaster to try and combo onto the machine on the side of Chumpy Lane. Yes, she is able to, but not. But they are going to get hit with that penalty. It is a wipe on the side of Chumpy Lane, but I don't know. Those penalty points are really devastating for Interrobang. They're going to have to try and find and replicate the energy that they have. But as I say that, penalty points are ticking down. They're all the way down to 16. And Chumpy Lane ran out of specials. They have no more specials left. And as their stamper goes down, they once again manage to flip the zone and get 2 picks on the side of Interrobang. But this Zuka from Illuminati needs to come up big if they want to cap the zone. Which will they be able to? Not quite. And Chumpy Lane, after a fuse fight and several zone flips, are going to end up taking the game.
It was very close there. We almost saw Interrobang take it back, but not quite enough, it seems. So we're gonna see how that goes, though. We did see, like, Chumpy Lane were the zone's champions. They did super well, but Interrobang almost did as well as against them in zones as Pickup did. It was much more back and forth than those games ever were. And so, we're gonna see how this goes on tower control, which we only saw Chumpy Lane play on once, and they did not win, if I remember correctly. I mean, that's how they got here into losers, is because they lost a zones game, or a tower control game.
Definitely, and yeah, like you said, Chumpy Lane are consistently showing themselves to be the master of splat zones. But regardless, passes the pass, and we are now going to our game 2, tower control on Inkblot Art Academy. We have seen Chumpy Lane's performance on this mode, and it was not quite stellar. They did end up losing on game 5 on this exact mode, tower control. So I'm not sure if that's going to be affecting their performance a little bit, but it also depends how Interrobang want to play this. Stamper is not the best on this map, and although we've seen Chumpy Lane's Stamper player flex onto other weapons such as Heavy, Interrobang have a Stamper one-trick Jade. So I'm not sure if how effective that is going to be in terms of Interrobang's playstyle. But regardless, we're going in here. Chumpy Lane not switching off of the Stamper. Bold move on tower control. It's the weapon's worst mode. And Interrobang coming out with the same exact composition. No composition changes on either side.
We did see the Squeezer do some pretty terrific things last time, and looking forward to more of the same here. Already, though, early crab, first 15 seconds, you already know what's going on. Chumpy Lane is kind of ganging up on the left side, but they do go 1 down for their troubles. Basically trading pick for pick. I believe I saw a crab on the side of Interrobang. Yep, I certainly did, but it looks like it went down over there. And, I don't know, things are just scrapping out. Stamper goes down on the side of Interrobang, and now Chumpy Lane is taking that opportunity to push. I'm just going to catalyst it further and further, and they're already touching the first checkpoint. Not too much objection over here for them, too. I can definitely see them taking it. As long as they get on it. There we go. No, nope, not quite. Not quite.
Definitely. And Interrobang actually looking to finally make another push here, counter push, as Chumpy Lane struggled to actually break even the first checkpoint. They have a strong position set up with that crab tank on the left stack, Jade on the bottom left, looking to find a pick. not quite. They do shark out, but the splash on the side of Interrobang gets picked, and now they have to deal with a machine behind them. Although, even though Chumpy Lane does have the man disadvantage, they have an entire player behind Interrobang, which gets a crucial pick on the splash. That's 3 down on the side of Interrobang. It is only the machine who manages to jump out, and the push is now dead with a lead of 49. Definitely nothing to scoff at, especially in comparison to Chumpy Lane's push of merely 77, but it is definitely something nonetheless, and Interrobang are not going to have the pressure to make something happen here quickly.
Yeah, though you say that, and Chumpy Lane does go 2 down. They have specials out there ready that they can use to stall down Interrobang's next push, but it's going to be difficult, and Interrobang just kind of has a bit of momentum under their feet right now. Zuka going to go out. Not getting a pick quite yet. I'm also going to go out and just catalyst them further. They touch the second checkpoint for the second time, but do go 3 down for their efforts. Maybe a little bit of an overextension on their part, allowing Chumpy Lane to return to form and get a push going of their own, hoping to reclaim their lead, but nothing. You never know what happens. But I do know what happens when you have 4 specials on the board, and that can only mean good things for Chumpy Lane.
For sure, finally trying to make another push, 2 down on the side of Interrobang. This may be what they were looking for, and Chumpy Lane still has 2 specials online. They have the Crab Tank and they have the Zipcaster, both going to be used in unison, trying to find some chip damage to get some picks going. This Zipcaster spacing out the Stamper, but not quite able to win that 1v1. 3 down on the side of Chumpy Lane, and they don't quite manage to take the lead. They invested a lot of resources just to not come out with what they were seeking. So that's going to be very devastating for Chumpy Lane, as Interrobang push up very, very aggressively, already getting another pick, and going to start trying to snowball this as Chumpy Lane start reeling and struggling to defend.
Yeah, they're actually going to continue touching this second checkpoint for the 3rd time this match, and this time they might just make it stick. That is the second checkpoint broken, and with 3 down on the side of Chumpy Lane, only 1 member alive in a crab, which is going to slow things down just a little bit, but not enough as they start touching this 3rd checkpoint, just looking to break it, dancing on the tower, not quite surviving, but still maintaining a presence on their plat, still being a nuisance. That's Squeezer really just making things work. Jump's gonna go in and getting camped with only a minute left in the game. Getting all the way down to 12 is gonna take a bit of setup and a bit of time that Chumpy Lane might not have.
Definitely. Yeah, it's only a minute left. Chumpy Lane are gonna have to deal with a very, very good push of 12. They do have 4 specials online, however, compared to Interrobang's only 1. So that Booyabong is going to be popped very, very early. Crab Tank coming out, trying to find some picks or at least make some space, which it is doing. Chumpy Lane still have 2 specials on the board here, but they are going to lose one. One of the machines on the side of Chumpy Lane goes down. You do not want that happening in such a desperate situation as now. Only 20 seconds left on the board. Jade just looking to stall a little bit. They don't need to actually look for many picks. Meanwhile, this Stamper really, really does, and they don't quite manage to. Interrobang are just content to stay back on their plat, all cozy and comfy, just spamming bombs, spamming specials, and keeping Chumpy Lane from getting close to the tower and holding it for very long. And just as our time is now in a very, very dangerous position. However, just as I say that, Chumpy Lane are starting to get a little bit of momentum. Some consistent picks on Interrobang are going to let them get the special advantage that they need and start setting up a push that may actually lead this to an upset.
We might be seeing one of those world-famous Inkblot TC snowballs here. We're approaching dangerously close to the lead being swapped here. They're going to be throwing everything that they have at the tower, including just their lives going to basically waste. That's going to be a wipeout. But the game, I think, goes to Interrobang in the last moments. Things were getting very, very hairy.
Definitely. And Interrobang got a little bit too desperate there at the end. They just wanted to kind of get it over with, and they just overextended a little bit, and Chumpy Lane were able to take advantage of that. But as good as a push that they managed to scrap up, it was not quite enough, and Interrobang is going to be taking the second game, moving the set along to a 1-1. Now, we are going to be seeing the return of Sturgeon Shipyard from last set, but it is going to be a different mode. Rainmaker, definitely a different change of pace. Also a very aggressive mode. So which team do you think this playstyle is going to favor more, Weave? Because that's what we discussed last set with Tower Sturgeon.
I mean, Chumpy Lane was, the zone's champion in that set, but I think the same thing applies here, where Interrobang was able to take the win on the more aggressive mode, very narrowly, mind you, but they were able to take it. And I think they might benefit here as well. I can see them sticking on the squeezer here. I don't know. In my mind, it just works. This map just reminds me of Splatoon 2. It just, out of all of the maps, even the ones that they were into, this one just reminds me the most out of all of them. It's so weird to me.
For sure, it's definitely. I personally do not like this map combination. It's very strange, very counterintuitive to me. So I mean, I'm a little bit biased. I really don't like it, but honestly, what's important is not what I think. It's what these two teams are preparing to cook up, and I think the two teams are going to be pretty evenly matched, honestly, because they have very similar play styles. They have very similar weapon choices. Aside from that squeezer, which I think is going to have a hard time on this map, but I think their raw mechanical skill might just make up for it. So these two teams are going to be going pretty neck and neck on this map, and it's just going to boil down to which team can get a better push started, because on this map it's pretty notorious for just getting one checkpoint and not moving much anywhere else. So it's going to depend on which team is going to be able to get it past that first checkpoint and get some good headway into the point counter.
Yeah, but once you get that checkpoint, it is Splatoon 2 all over again. You can get some really nasty breakaway pushes going if you get lucky. There's a lot of skill involved, but there's also a lot of luck as well. We're going to see these teams stick to some pretty similar comps here. I think we're going to see Interrobang stick to the same comp the entire time. They know it works. They're going to stick to it, and just working around that squeezer, working around that stamper one trick is kind of difficult. And so you have the machine and the splash to back things up. Picks for picks, crabs for crabs. We already see the crab there, over there, just kind of maintain a bit of control. All these teams are doing is feeling each other out, trying to see what advantage they can get to start getting something going.
For sure, both teams playing very patiently. Both teams are still at a 4v4, just trying to farm specials, but that pick on the stamper is huge. Chumpy Lane now at a disadvantage. The splash does get a pick though to even things out, and probably gonna get a pick on Jade's Rainmaker. Not quite, and Interrobang are gonna look to maybe start forcing this Rainmaker onto the top left side. A little dance happening around the block, but not quite enough, and Jade is going to go for the breakaway, trying to get the checkpoint. They do just barely manage it, and actually, they don't quite get the pick on the splash. It is a trade, but the momentum is definitely on the side of Interrobang right now. Chumpy Lane struggling to build up enough specials to stop their momentum. It's only this Booyah Bomb, and it's going to have to come up big and give Chumpy Lane a lot of space if they want to try and salvage their defense.
I'm still not over Jade's evasive maneuvers are there. I was so sure that they were going to die for like a solid 10-20 seconds there, and they just lived, and it looks like they're going to continue to hold it over there, maintaining their mid-control pretty excellently, not letting anything up, and continuing to push forward, which is exactly what they need on Rainmaker. They want to keep going, they want to be, get more points, they want to continue, and they want to get that KO. That's the only way that you're safe in Rainmaker, because things can be switched from right behind your back. We're going to see, though, actually that's Interrobang, just continuing to get picks, continuing to put a ton of pressure on Chumpy Lane, getting a wipeout, and we may just see a knockout here, all the way down to 20 points. Not quite the knockout that they wanted, but they still are here. It's only Jade left alive, but if they can stay safe, they're going to be able to just keep the pressure up and open the opportunities for more pushes and more opportunities to KO.
Definitely, this is what I was talking about. This is the push that one of the teams needed to make. Now that Interrobang made a push all the way to 21, it's very difficult to break that stalemate on this map. All they have to do is just stall in mid, stall out Chumpy Lane, just wait out their specials, and they don't even need to actually push here. They have such a comfortable lead that they can afford to make some slip-ups or to just simply play very, very passively. They really have the upper hand here. It's what I was saying at the beginning, right before this game. This map is very, very slow and difficult to get high point numbers. So if you do manage to get one, such as we saw in Terabang do here, they're definitely going to have the upper hand for the remainder of the match, since it's going to be very difficult for Chumpy Lane to do so. But regardless, we might just see the advantage that Chumpy Lane needed, as Interabang now have a disconnect, unfortunately, and it is not going to be a permanent 3v4 for Interabang. This is outside of the DC rules. The teams are going to be playing this out since it is very late into the game, and we already see Chumpy Lane take advantage of that edge that they have with thanks to the disconnect, and quickly just pushing this very far. Jade gonna get picked. It's a 2v4 right now. It's only the Splash alive. Chumpy Lane gonna be content just going for the lead. The Splash is gonna die, unfortunately, and that is a quick knockout for Chumpy Lane. That is such a tragedy. I believe Interabang definitely had that match if it wasn't for that unfortunate disconnect at the very end. But props to them for making such an explosive push at the beginning. But regardless, Chumpy Lane is going to be taking the game, moving this set along to a 2-1 in favor of Chumpy Lane.
Havoc, I am so sorry. This is not... We've apparently been having a lot of issues all night. This is exactly what we pay for, ladies and gentlemen. Super unfortunate. I think we all know, like, Interabang had that in the bag. There's definitely an opportunity for Chumpy Lane to come back, and I mean, they could have taken it. I'm not going to discount how, good of a team they are. But still, like, it's so unfortunate that we don't see how the game would play out normally. And it just makes it more and more awkward for Interabang. They're gonna have to take it to a game 5 if they have any hopes of making it to Grands and not being knocked out. Not fun, not fun.
Definitely. If they end up losing on Clan Blitz Museum, it's definitely going to be heartbreaking to know that you had a solid chance at Grand since you were winning that second map, and you just end up losing it thanks to a disconnect. It's got to be heartbreaking. Now we are trying to deal with the technical situation on hand with the disconnect and how it is going to be coming back into the room right back after we fix this small technical issue we had. We'll be right back.
There are rats gnawing on the wires at Nintendo headquarters. Okay, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. We ball. Game 4, everyone! Let's go! We are back and better than ever. Match point. It's Chumpy Lane 2 against 1. They are going to be returning to the heavy as we are on Clan Blitz Museum. Best map mode in the game. Changed my mind.
Definitely, and this is looking eerily similar to what we saw last set. Chumpy Lane looking to finally gain retribution for their loss on this map, which contributed to their loss to Pickup back in winners finals. However, Interabang starting out strong, taking a lot of presence on this map. Nick the Splash going very, very aggressively, getting a pick. Can he get the second pick? It gets a trade, but it is only going to be the heavy left on the side of Chumpy Lane, while Interabang are going to start pushing up very, very aggressively. This Squeezer looking for picks, looking to snowball their team even further, but not quite able to, with only one clam away from a ball. They're going to jump back and opt to hold mid with the rest of their team instead of pushing forward aggressively. Zuka comes out, not quite able to find picks just yet. And both teams are stuck in a bit of a stalemate once again. This neutral game that's so important on maps like these. And both teams are just trying to take it very, very slowly.
And yeah, we see just hopping, jumping all over the place, jumping out, jumping back in, jumping to teammates. Things are going on. And seeing things that are going on, Chumpy Lane is getting something going here with a beautiful, beautiful wipeout. They have the clams for plenty of clams on the plat, plenty of, things going around. Two actually are going to be going out. Only one going in, coming out and furthering that push, but looks like they weren't able to make much of it. Looks like they're already, things have been put to a halt at 80 points, the base points for clam push. So, I mean, I'm not sure how things are going to go from here on. Oh, it's kind of reminds me. I'm going to give a review of that first game where this happened against Pickup. Same thing.
Definitely, and screw all that I said about a very slow neutral game. Both teams are playing very, very aggressively here, going for picks. Both teams are suffering a lot of casualties as Chumpy Lane try to get another push started. However, that crafting is going to get shut down very, very quickly by the Zuka coming out from Interrobang. Two down the side of Chumpy Lane. They're going to struggle to start making a push. Nick just built different and winning that 1v1. And even though Interrobang goes one down, they are starting to try to get a push started here to try and score maybe some more clams, but I stand corrected, and they're going to be going several players down, opting to they try to hold with their specials.
Yeah, try's going out, gonna force a way in, and now that this Heavy is on spinner, things are gonna get a little bit more difficult for Interrobang. Heavy being up there is, great positioning and walk over all of mid. It's gonna be backing out a little bit, but the pressure is still on from Chumpy Lane. They know that their lead is just within their grasp. All they have to do is get another power clam in, and they want more than that. Two down from the side of Interrobang does mean that they are going to have the opportunity to move further and further in. Hot Dog over here on the Heavy, best member of that team, obviously, because spot lanes are the best, is going to go in, and they are going to get another push started here. A lot of members of Interrobang are going to be providing a bit of resistance, but a push to 61 in a game that has been this stally thus far is nothing to sneeze at. Still, though, not safe. Only a single power clam would take the lead right back from Interrobang.
Definitely, as Interrobang are looking to get their back, just barely managing to edge out the lead of 67, and Interrobang just looking for some picks. Jade manages to get a clean stamper combo on one of the members of Chumpy Lane, but the crab tank is just too much, and Interrobang are now 3 down with only the splash-o-matic alive, popping that crab tank to try to buy some time for their team to come back into play. But it's not quite going to be enough, and Chumpy Lane are really just content stalling out these last few seconds. And in fact, they're not even going to stall this out. They're going to play very, very aggressively, getting a going down. Chumpy Lane just absolutely shutting down any signs of life from Interrobang. 2 down on the side of Interrobang. Chumpy Lane just bringing in possibly a power clam jump if they can keep the basket open. Not quite, but that is just an extension of a good lead.
Yeah, no, coming back from this is a near Herculean task. They only have their pity, which does mean that overtime is going to be forced, but first they have to get Chumpy Lane out of their base. Second, they have to get mid back. And third, they have to get all the way to their basket, score all the way to 20 points, and they are already halfway done with that. Only one member left alive. Illumine is not going to be able to defend by themselves, and Chumpy Lane is going to open the basket and take this losers finals set to a grand conclusion, winning 3-1 over Interrobang and buying themselves a ticket to Grands.
Definitely. Very unfortunate about that disconnect, but Chumpy Lane did end up taking the set with some very Lamb Blitz museum map, which ended up netting them, like you said, one-way ticket straight to grand finals. So that means, folks, we are going for a repeat of our previous set. It is going to be grand finals between Chumpy Lane and Pickup. Definitely going to be running it back and see which team can finally come out on top on this brand new rivalry basically that we've seen develop.
Yeah. They said run it back, but I also want to say hello to everyone who's joining in from the Low Tide stream. Hope you guys are having a great time. And we'll see you right after a short break, going right into grand finals of this fantastic Squid Junction.